Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today, my sister has transformed herself. She did her own makeup. I guided her through the whole thing, but I was
just about everything.
Just about everything.
There was a few blending
tiny bit
incidences that needed.
But I mean, I'm like so happy and impressed, and you did contour,
all
liner, everything. So we are gonna hop to us being a very dramatic before. We're gonna get ready together and guide you in detail with so many tips along the way on how to do a very natural but glamorous look, you know, using rich tones, neutral tones, but still like there are a lot of steps, technique, it's a lot of makeup. It is very wow, glam, ooh, ah, hey. So let's cut to us with no makeup and we will take you step by step getting ready with us. All right, let's, woo! This is the dramatic before.
Yes.
Which is actually how I spend a lot of my life. We're gonna fix that because we're gonna have fun with makeup, and makeup gives you so many different options, and that is what it is about. Whether you are a full glam lover or natural-ish kind of makeup gal, you know, you want it to look good no matter what. So I am here to arm my sister Erika with a step-by-step guide to my everyday kind of complicated routine.
Don't you feel like you've done that for me like 500 times?
You still have not learned.
Yeah.
She'll ask me certain things like, but wait, how do you do this? And I'm like, use primer. It will make you have your makeup last longer.
And I have been using primer since that last video when I said I haven't.
Oh my gosh,
have been using
the last
primer.
video, I was like, Erika, like, do you use primer? And she literally is like, no. Why don't you use primer?
Because I'm lazy.
So something that I am really into right now is doing my eye makeup first.
Okay.
If you've been with me in the past couple of months, you know that I've reverted back to an old technique of doing my eye makeup first and then doing the face. And the reason why is freedom. We can blend and blend and blend and blend, and if it gets everywhere, oh, it does not even matter, because you just clean it up. All right, step one, we're gonna dip into Painterly Paint Pot. I like using a brush for this because I can really coat the brush and get it on there very quickly. I don't really use circular motions. I use a patting and sweeping motion from inner corner to outer corner. Now, they will yell at us in the comments if we cover our face.
I yell at you when you cover your face. I'm like, you stop doing that.
Exactly.
People want to see what you're doing.
I know, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go inner corner, like this, sweep. Brush, 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 brush. And you see how it's covering all that discoloration and veins? And don't even worry about pulling it out here because you're gonna put foundation over this area. So feel free to give yourself room to blend it all the way out. I'll even flip my brush like this and go back into that inner corner.
Okay, do you see how this is happening right here?
Yeah, because you're not done blending.
Oh.
Just if you see that, pat, 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 sweep.
Okay.
And if all else fails, take the warmth of your fingertip, pat, 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 pat.
Do you go up to your brow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then I sweep out like this. And sometimes if I know I'm gonna be putting things underneath the eye, I'll even take a little bit of it underneath.
Really? Okay. I wonder if a lot of your viewers think I'm just an absolute idiot.
No, they're probably like, finally, a real woman who doesn't use 3 pairs of false lashes and 5 primers. They don't.
I don't know. I feel like you're always giving me a tutorial on how to do my makeup. You would have think I've mastered it by now, but.
Well, imagine this. If we were in a hospital and I was like, so how do I give this person a shot? You know, like we all have our things that we've studied and that we're good at. Last night, she told me she was jealous of my eyeshadow, a collective
oh my gosh, I could
times.
not stop looking at it. It just made your eyes pop and the glitter was so pretty. Oh my gosh.
This is what I was wearing.
Yeah, with blue eyes, it just made everything pop.
Let's go into our Tati Beauty palettes. And we're gonna start with a fluffy brush. I'm gonna give you the better brush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll trade you. This is a Haku Hodu. That's the Rolls Royce of brushes. She's like, I'll take that.
We'll see if I like it.
Excuse me? Beauty reviewer of the world who is, she like literally, I told Erika to start putting her fails in a bin so she could sit down and do a fails video because she is ruthless. She's like, no, ew, no. And like, it's very cutthroat and I kind of live for it. So let me know in the comments if she should do a takeover. First thing, we're gonna dip into Soothe Matte. And you notice that there is a lot of pigment that will get on the brush. Okay, this is a very pigmented shade.
Right.
It blends out very soft and smooth. You do have a little bit of fallout that can happen if you don't do this. The nice thing with this pigmentation, with the laydown of color, is how easy it is to buff and blend. So if you put too much on, it's very easy to kind of manipulate it and blend it, and I think that's so important in an eyeshadow. So what we're gonna do is look down in the mirror, and I usually start on the outer edge right here. Like, what would it look like if you were actually poking your eye? Okay, now keep that same angle.
Okay, my primer is creasing.
That's okay. This will all buff into it. Okay, so go like this. Windshield wiper motions.
Across the whole lid?
And you can kind of tilt your head back if you need to figure out exactly where that bone is and where that crease is. You don't have to use so much pressure.
Okay.
Just go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Now get to the outer edge and start doing little dots, little dabs right here. Stipple the outer edge. And once you feel like you've...
I have all these hairs on my eyelid.
Haku Hodu played you. Close your eye.
Save this brush from going into my fails.
Oh! Okay, so let's grab a second dip.
Same color?
Same color, just a dip. Dab will do you. Same thing. Start on the outer edge and stipple.
We're in the opposite eye or same eye?
Same eye. We're gonna build this color up for a while. This is a really good thing to mention. A lot of people will think that you just do one step once and move on. It's the build of color that makes things look so smooth and pretty and rich, but somehow soft at the same time. So we're just repeating those same steps.
Wow, this blends really well, except for I got it right here.
That's okay. This is why we do it first, and then we can clean things up. And what you want to do if you ever fix an area like this, where you're like, oh shoot, like I was not paying attention and I went too close to the corner of my eye, don't go back in with the brush that you've used. Take a clean brush once that wetness from the wipe has dried, and then kind of do this business and kind of use circular motions to buff out any edges that are harsh.
Why are you giving me that?
Because it's clean brush. It's clean. And just continue blending and buffing, and see how I've built that color up quite a bit.
Yeah. Can we do some glitter?
Oh, you want to do glitter?
I love glitter.
Okay, we'll finish the look, and then once we're done with the face and everything, we'll pop on just like a little bit of glitter.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because. Oh, you want? Oh, she's excited for glitter.
I love your glitter. Your glitter is so pretty.
So what I would do for you, look straight on. Tilt back. I would just kind of get circular motions going up here. Don't be afraid to hit the skin that you think in your brain needs to stay completely clean as far as your brow bone is concerned. For one, you want it to look completely blended. For two, you can always take concealer or a lighter pencil and go in and re-highlight that area. And it just looks so much softer and a little bit better to have it as diffused as possible.
Yeah, that looks a lot better actually.
Right?
Bringing it up a little higher.
So take your clean brush and just kind of pull that color. And that's what I was talking about, how these pigments are able to kind of spread and move. That's like the effect that I wanted them to have. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So moving on, we are going to now use our fingertips, and we're gonna go into Ritual, the metallic. Start on the inner corner and just kind of press and pull.
Across the whole lid?
From inner to outer corner. But stop at the outer corner and don't get up to the crease. And what I like to do sometimes, I get up to the crease and I'm kind of almost pressing it down a little bit.
Okay.
To smooth that out. These metallics really smooth out nicely with a little bit of any setting mist. Most metallics will. You don't have to do this, but I'm just saying you can. So look to me, close. See how one side is just like a little bit brighter? You have to be careful to not overload the eye with too much metallic. You just want to work in layers. These are richly pigmented enough that you don't have to like saturate the brush too much. So trust that the pigmentation will be there. And that way you don't have 5,000 layers of product by the time you're done with your look.
I'm really digging doing the first, the eye.
Look, I like even like, do you see how it's getting on my lower lash
eyeshadow
line?
First? Yeah, no, because it's all
I'm
under here.
Well, I'm pulling it down and wiggling and pulling it down, and it just gives a different kind of a blend, and then you can clean that up. So you really can only do this.
Is that color the one that I was just using that you had revised?
What I'm using now?
Yeah, because it's dark.
I'm using Sequin Ritual. Knock off the excess. Look like you're marrying it with your nose. Move all the way to the edge. And you're not pulling out, you're pulling down. Pull down, 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 down. Okay, now that you have that color deposited there, now kind of tilt back up slightly. You don't need to go in here. You want to keep all of this clean. So just like teeny tiny wiggles. Look at my hand, what I'm doing. Little, yep, there you go. Look how fast this goes.
So unnatural.
Does that look right? You're getting there.
Do I need more?
Take a clean brush now. You got a little high with it, but that's okay. This comes with, you know, practice. So I'm gonna now pull the color out quite a bit. See how I just blended that and it looks better? Right? Okay. So something that's really important also is to think about where you're looking in the mirror when you do certain things. So like for me, when I'm cleaning up my under eye area, I don't want to just be looking dead on like this. I actually kind of turn and I tilt my head a little bit so that I can get that angle that I want. You don't want to wipe off too much. You can always...
I know, that's what I was wondering. Like if you wipe off too much, can you go back in?
I'll go back in and buff and blend. It's better to not wipe off so much and totally change the shape of the eye look. Once you have foundation concealer on, you can kind of cover up some of it with a little bit of the foundation and soften that edge. But if you go ahead and like take that off, it's not gonna have that same like blown out effect. Okay, so we're gonna take a pencil brush, okay, and we're going to dip into the shade Ritual Matte and kind of coat the tip of the brush. And we're going to have faith and close our eyes. Start at this, you wanna be really, that was your chair.
That was totally my chair. That was not me.
On my channel. Okay, so we're going to start right here, like we're lining our eye, but pull it a little bit lower, and I go in there really low, and I smoke out, I'm not using a ton of pressure, the top and bottom lash line by doing this. And it just like kind of did the work for our lower lash line. You see?
That's nice too, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we're gonna put concealer and everything on, and we're gonna buff it out even more once we do that. Let's go into Aura, the sequin one, and grab it on the fingertip. So what we're gonna do is just on the inner corner here, I'm gonna tilt back a little bit, and I'm almost gonna press my nail into that bone right here so that I'm really close into my nose almost. And I'm just gonna dab it there. I'm not pulling out any further. It's just a fingertip length. That's it, okay? Then you take one of your brushes that you're using. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean, but maybe kind of whisk off, you know, some of the excess. And then I'm not gonna hit any of this white part right here. I want this to stay really, really nice and bright, but I don't like how there's that line there now. You see how it's like kind of jig-jaggy? So we wanna just kind of lightly swoosh that edge. And if you have to, now that you've laid down the initial thing, you can take a little dab with your brush. Basically, the way that I do makeup is I use hands, I use brushes, I use clean brushes, I use sponges. I use everything I can to kind of buff and blend, and I have it in my head of how I think something should look, and I just do whatever I need to keep the color strong where I want it strong and to pull it back where I want it to pull back. Now what we're gonna do is take a little bit of setting mist and angled brushes, and we're gonna use the black as our liner today. And actually, I'm gonna use brown. I'm gonna use the espresso kind of shade, Ritual. So when I'm doing liner, my goal is always to kind of get it down into the lashes, because liner is really going to make your lashes look thicker and frame your eyes. So you can almost do like a pull down motion with a wet shadow like this. It's pretty easy.
I like this so much better too, just because, I don't know why, but recently I feel like black liner, and it's the shape of my eye too, you know, kind of have those hooded eyelids that it just takes over like everything. That's another thing that I wanted to learn how to do, was just make my eye like look like bigger.
More open.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a nice way to do it. and the richness is really flattering, but it still has a lot of depth. It's still dark when you use a brown to line the eye. You're still getting that framing, but you're right, it's not as harsh.
Ooh,
yeah, that looks nice for
really
you,
pretty.
Right?
I love this as eyeliner. This is like my new thing.
So let's curl our lashes, put on mascara, and then we're just gonna feather in a little bit of brow pencil, and we'll be back to do the face.
Haven't told many stories.
You don't even have embarrassing stories about me. You got nothing.
Tati has model pictures. She was some hot stuff when she was 19.
Shut up.
Glamour shots to the max.
You were my photographer, so stop it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, back in the day when you had to take a Kodak disposable and
Oh
then
my
like drive
gosh.
down and be like, let's go to the hour photo and splurge so we can see it in 1 hour.
Well, but it's going to the hour photos.
oh, the guys are
And then
seeing
you would
it
get
develop. It's like, oh.
And then you had to get the CD so that you could put it on the computer.
It's a whole freaking process.
Oh my gosh. I feel extremely pale today.
Well, we're not done. We're gonna bronze up the face, don't you worry.
Okay, I need a glow up. Is that what that is?
Kind of.
Kind of?
An in the moment glow up. No, glow up is like when you look at your high school photos and you're like, yikes. What was I thinking with those brows? You know, and you're like, woo. You know?
Oh yeah, I've definitely had a glow up then.
Me too.
What was I thinking with that senior picture? We took them on Ventura Boulevard in front of some store that the window was like a mirror. I don't know how to pose like a model. I have no idea.
Those photos were so cute. I was so jealous.
What?
Yes.
It's so awkward though. Like if you don't know how to pose, you know, you can always YouTube. Yeah. But,
Okay, roast me. She found when I was like posing for photos for Bora Bora.
oh my gosh,
like,
you're actually gonna talk
I don't
about
care,
this?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Let me
Like,
say it. She has all of these incredible photos from when she went to Bora Bora. She can give credit to watching videos on YouTube how to pose in a bikini.
Yes.
This is true. I can't believe you're letting me say that.
Yeah.
Oh my
No
gosh.
shame. You can
That's
learn
awesome.
anything on YouTube. If you're like, how do I pose in a bikini and not look like a fool? I want to impress my husband. It'll be like, boo-doo-doo-doo. And it's like, oh, great. Okay, so we're gonna take these kind of brushes. We're gonna go into an RCMA palette. I'm gonna graze the top row because that's usually just where I start. We should prime first, just a little bit. Okay, so let's take just a dabble, do you, of this, just a tiny bit right in our problem area and press, 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 press. Press, 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 press. Dab, 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 pat, pat, pat. That'll be my merch line. Dab, 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 press, 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 pat, pat, pat. What you wanna do is find exactly where you want to cut your cheekbone. We could just skip this step. I'm looking at you in the monitor. I'm like, why do we even need to? Because you're perfect. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, yeah, you're in that region. Go a little lower. The tendency is to go too high. Go a little, yep, that's okay. Yep, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. That's about it. Stop.
Okay.
Pretty good. It looks like it's really low, but because we're putting foundation on top of it, it's not gonna look crazy. This is Scott Barnes's technique. I always have to give like a shout out to him for being the king of contour. So just literally don't brush at all, just bounce. This is gonna pick up some of that pigment. See how that just like diffused it? And I will even like get it on my ear up here a little bit, just so there's no start and stop to the color. Now the thing that's cool with this versus doing like your bronzer after is if you feel like you've gone too low, take the clean portion of your beauty blender and just kind of wipe it like here. Do you feel like you got it too low? Yeah, you don't want to get it up close to here. Like your little magic eraser.
Magic, wow.
And then I usually clean up like right here. I'll go like that.
Go like what?
Just to make sure none of it went too low. So now I'm gonna actually go into this darker brown here but really like dab that product off and just tuck it kind of by the ear to darken up just back here. And then I kind of pull it back to the ear. I'm not using a circular motion. I'm literally really pressing that product in. And then what I do is I almost fan it upward.
Okay.
To buff it out.
Okay.
And then I always have a habit of really trying to keep this area right here clean. I don't like to bring powder into this region to clean it up. I think that can look a little bit heavy, and it's just not necessary if you get it right on the underneath. So there you go with that. Boom, boom, stamp, stamp, stamp. Fan it up, kind of like a painting. You're really fading it out. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Do you see how that works?
I do, yeah.
You're creating a shadow that wasn't there before. You're widening it. You're making the angles on your face work with the shape of your face, right?
Okay.
Do you see that? Okay,
Awesome.
so now we're gonna do the nose, and I'm gonna take one of these brushes. I'm gonna give you the exact same brush. What do you wanna change about your nose?
I feel like it's too chubby here.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is right in the center, right where your nostril is here, kind of go right there and start stamping a line.
This feels so weird.
And then for me, you already have a very thin bridge. You don't need to do this.
No, I don't. I feel ridiculous.
It's a little too wide. You don't want to like widen it and make your nose more wide. Better. Do you see the difference? We're gonna take our beauty blenders and go into the sublimage. Okay, and then we're just gonna stamp the edge of our hairline. I wear my little headbands now so that I don't get so much makeup in my hair. If you guys were like, what's with her headband? Is she going skiing? I look like I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I look like I'm on the slopes or something.
Do you do this on your jawline too?
I go like this underneath. And if it's just like daytime, it's not an event, it's not photography, you don't need to go too hard with the contour on the jaw, in my opinion. Otherwise, it can move around, it can get messy. So I just kind of stamp underneath here. And if I have an open neckline, like you do, like I will drag it down.
Okay.
And then when I get to foundation, I'll make sure everything is really connected and that everything matches, you know, that is important. We're gonna continue with one of Scott's techniques on the lips.
So what are you doing?
I'm lining my lips just slightly outside with what we contoured with. And then all you're gonna do now is we're gonna take just a smidge. We're gonna use my Scott Barnes palette that I've had, hello, for like 5 years, 6 years. I use this every day of my life.
I hate these brushes.
These?
I always feel like it leaves a streaky mark
that's
on
why
my
you go
face.
back in after. You go like this. Look how I'm coating the brush, okay? For everyone at home. You don't just go like this and you don't just dot the face. You literally get it in the brush and get it on these bristles. That's how it's gonna work for you. Start here, start fanning the color everywhere. You don't need to, I'm barely using pressure. I'm not using pressure at all because I don't wanna remove all of that hard work that I did with the contour. I am gonna put a little concealer up in here, not a lot. We're gonna be conservative with it, so don't get up in here too much. When we go over the mouth, let me know when you're ready for that.
Okay.
You just relax the mouth. You don't need to do this. If you go like this, it's not gonna work. So you relax the mouth. Now with the nose, do kind of like this, but kind of flick it up. On one side, go to the other, same thing. Stamp, 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 stamp. Okay, now we've evenly spread everything. We're gonna go back with the sponge. And if you look in your mirror and you see any area that has those brush marks that you were talking about, you can kind of dab them out. Make sure the color everywhere is really uniform and deposited the way you want it to. Okay, so let's do a little bit of concealer. I go in just right in that inner corner.
Like that?
Yep, that's about it. And then take your sponge and just kind of blot it in. And you really kind of almost stick your head into it and like this. I don't want to move it. I actually want to try my best.
Yeah, I feel like I have a tendency to like
move things around.
Yep.
We're gonna set the under eye. We're just gonna take a little bit. I like to go in the yellow and peach. This is a MAC palette. And I grab it kind of on the side of the brush. Excellent job. And I go right in that inner corner. Again, I'm kind of stamping. Ooh, good job.
Hold on.
That's perfect.
Cool.
Okay, so
I'm starting to, I think,
you're starting to get it. So for the rest of the face, we're gonna dip into Wet n Wild and just go in the lid. This is actually enough, probably for both of us.
Okay. Same brush?
Same brush. And I'm just gonna kind of tap this on the rest of the face. I don't wanna over powder things. This just helps the foundation kind of lock into place and not crease and look good all day. And it will sink into the skin.
This is one of your favorites, huh?
Mm-hmm, so like don't worry if it looks powdery at first. It'll warm up to the skin. We're gonna grab a little Makeup Forever. So I'm again stippling first, and then I kind of sweep back into the hairline. This is a great bronzer for beginners.
Why?
It does not distribute a ton of pigmentation all at once, so it's really difficult to mess it up.
And when you bronze,
nice.
Where do you bronze on your cheeks?
I kind of go over the furthest point of my contour a little bit, and then I do kind of pump it up a little bit right here just to kind of add warmth to the skin, but I'm not attempting to add like a ton of color because I am going to go in with blush. And then what I'll do is I'll just kind of go down here, drag it along the jawline just to make sure everything's nice and blended. We're gonna take a little cream blush, which seems crazy to do.
This stuff scares me too because I feel like cream anything moves stuff around.
Mm-hmm. It's, again, you're gonna have to trust yourself to do the stippling motion, okay? So I am also stippling my brush in here. I'm not swirling it. Then I'm checking the color by stippling on the palm of my hand. If I smile and I do it on the apples, then when I'm not smiling, it'll only
drops,
be pink here. So I typically go just like that.
Okay.
And I kind of take the brush away each time to see.
But that looks so concentrated. You're gonna buff it out, right?
I'm gonna buff it out.
Okay.
So I'm laying it down first, and this stuff kind of morphs and just like sinks into the skin. With this blush, I don't like to take it back far. I like to really keep that concentration like right in here.
It's pretty.
So then I'll kind of really get the
Can I have a
excess
brush?
off. Yeah, I'm gonna have you use this brush because it's actually my favorite shape for doing this. I'll get that excess off and kind of do the edges. And if I feel like after a few minutes it's still too concentrated, then I'll do my thing where I go in with a clean brush completely and just kind of clean up around the edges if need be.
Like that? Is it too red? Like too much?
Nope. If you think it's too much, you can go in with your handy dandy beauty blender and you can always tone it down a little bit like that. And then at the very end, I always do put like a little bit of, yeah, I gotta fix the hair. I put a little bit of an all over powder just to kind of cream up the skin. I hit it with that warmth and with the setting spray, and pigmentation and blush usually kind of is like the first to go. So I wouldn't really worry about it.
Okay.
So let's actually do that right now. I'm just gonna do it for you where you just go into like some kind of finishing powder. And just, again, it's this like very subtle thing that it does, but it just makes the skin creamy. Highlight.
Highlight.
I'm gonna use a Scott Barnes 6.6. This is one of my favorites. And then I'm taking an Ambient Strobe powder. I'm going in all three of these. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna kind of find where I want to highlight for me, right here. I'm pulling it down, kind of toward my ear.
Okay.
So I kind of do that and brush it back. Grab more, brush it back. I go down the nose, do this thing, I go right here, boom. Kind of brush it down, yep. Perfect. Perfect. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect.
Okay.
So nice. We're gonna do lips. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go slightly outside of my lip line, right in here. And I'm kind of generous with the coverage right here. Common mistake people make. They think that if they outline any part of their lips, they have to outline the whole dang thing. That's just not true. So I actually cut it a little bit in here.
I noticed that you do that on my lips too.
It makes them have like this cute little like boop. And I do the same thing here. You're covering your mouth.
Oh, whoops.
Now that you have the outline, I'd actually go a little lower and fill it in and kind of make it a little bit wider so you have a nice base for the lipstick to stick to. Lipstick, kind of dabble it on a little. We're gonna take some Victoria Duke and we're gonna take this, start in the center and just kind of hit it up, fan it down. And so I don't get it everywhere. I just kind of get it just like, you know,
in that middle area.
In that middle area, and then it just kind of attracts light to that area. Okay, do we dare do lashes?
I'd love to try lashes. I want to do something super natural.
Those are tiny enough, I don't think you'll even need to trim them.
Okay.
These are actually pretty curved, so you don't have to break them in too much, but sometimes you can give the band a little wiggle just to kind of break it in if it's a firmer band. These are the Invisibands, so they don't really need that too much. And then you coat your lashes like this. Show you. You don't want to spread it apart. You just worked hard to get it like kind of curved. So I'm just painting that edge. Now, I've gotten in the habit of using my fingertips. A lot of people like to use tweezers. What I like to do is look back, use my mirror. You're gonna wait until yours dries just a little bit, so watch what I'm doing. I kind of have it almost tilted down, right? And I'm first snugging it right in the center. And I kind of see exactly where I want it to live. I take that corner, I lift it up, and I kind of press it into the lash line. Now you have a little bit of time where you can have it like move around.
Do you think mine's dry?
Yeah, I go in and try. And if it doesn't work out, we can try again. Kind of not here.
No, it's like floating.
This will be a work in progress. Okay, I'll come back to you because I gotta put mine on.
Okay.
Just did a one-handed lash job.
I love these. Oh my gosh.
So pretty, huh?
Oh my gosh, they're like so subtle.
We're near the finish line, and Erika is really wanting to be a little dangerous and use a little glitter on the eyes. Now, you want to go with your own comfort zone with these glitters. Again, use them how you find best to use them, and if you feel comfortable using them on your eyes, that is up to you. It's your prerogative. Don't put them in the eyes. Don't use it as liner. And be careful when you're doing glitter to not use more than you need to. These are formulated with coconut, and they have a nice base where the transfer is really good, and it is gonna stick to the lid and not fluff everywhere, but still be careful because it is glitter. Okay, so what shade should we do?
This one might brighten it up a little bit.
Okay, so Erika's suggesting Soothe. I do a little bit of a circle, press, press. It's now really evenly coated on my fingertip. So now we're gonna take a mirror, tilt the head back, and think about where you want to place it before you go in. So I'm going to place it kind of high right here, and that way you know your mark. You don't want to get it in the lashes, you don't want to get it on the liner. We probably should have done this before the falsies, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
We're just having fun. But in the future, if you were getting ready for a party or something. So tilt your head back, close, like this. I'm pressing, stamping, pressing, stamping. And that's it, really. Don't go too high.
Oh, that's a little bit much, but.
So I'm just gonna kind of pull it down a little bit. Okay, you have a little bit of room to manipulate these because of the base. See, that softened it.
That's better.
I really need to curl my hair. I need to finish the full glam with the hair and everything said and done. But we have one final step, and that is to lock it all into place. So let's go ahead.
Set it and forget it.
And set it and forget it.
What am I using?
So, little all-nighter. Finish her off with a spritz or two of Fix Plus. All right, you guys, the messy bun is taken down. I feel glamorous, ready to go do exciting things. We're gonna go get our nails done.
Yes,
they really need
for
it.
a manicure.
So we're gonna finish up with more glamorous activities and self-care. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I just love it when Erika's here. Like, honestly, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yes.
And if you guys enjoyed this, please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things, leave us kind comments. Love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.